I haven't keeked in a while. I should keek.
What's that?
Keek is like it's like a Vine kind of.
It's like a video Twitter.
Yeah, it's almost like the video instrument. Yeah.
Reverse video and send it out to people.
Yeah.
I do like my social media.
Yeah, we'll have to do a keek at the end of this interview. Yeah.
Kind of sounds like a dirty word.
It is.
So you guys were the characters that got added later in the game in the first season. Now is it nice because there's new characters that you're no longer the new kids on the block, and is there a little bit of feeling of being established?
We're moving into, we're moving into a little more in sync territory. We're not the new kids on the block.
Kind of make me sick.
Wow.
Had a bunch of hits, Chinese. No.
Wow.
LFO, right?
Anyway, we just
so many 90s references in the past 30 seconds.
We had a 90s party a few months ago, so
we did.
We're still reeling from that. And we played Operation. Anyway, what was the question?
What's it like playing against a new cast now that you're the old pros, I guess?
It's fun to know that we got to put a little bit of our own story in there.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I mean, it was written for us, but we got to sort of hopefully change the way they were thinking about going with the character, and
which is great because that's what what Mark and Andrew, what Greg do best is they put their own spin on the comics. So a lot of them, there's been characters that you think are supposed to be a certain character, but then there's someone else. So I think that that's been good for our storylines because we've turned out. Our paths are going a way that people don't necessarily think it's supposed to go.
I think what Mark and Andrew love the best is thinking they're going to go one way and then being like, we were so wrong, and just like I picture them just wiping everything off the table.
I feel like they've told me some things, and then they're like, no, we're going to take that whole scene out, and I'm like, what? And then they change it up. Yeah. So they keep us on our toes, which is really fun.
That's why I think rumors just never actually get solidified.
No.
Like they're always just like, They turn into a 90s dance.
Are we going to get more backstory on each of your characters? You know a little bit, but you know nothing about your backstory.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, we know that she hates kangaroos.
You ate a pop brownie in college.
I did. She's never been to Australia. We know like very, very certain things. We don't know anything about her family, and I think that we have to know more about Felicity's family. We have to know where she came from. I mean, when you look at your friends, you like to know what their parents were like, or look at where they came from. It doesn't mean that they're exactly like them, but
it'll be interesting to see how they introduce that as well. Like if certain characters dig up Felicity's past, or Felicity, or they or she openly welcomes the people in her life into her family dynamic. So you never know.
Well, we know your character.
No, I don't think he has a very great future ahead of him either. He's getting into a lot more trouble this season, taking on people that they're double his size, and he's getting knocked down a bunch of pegs. And Roy's trying to. This season, he's really trying to impress the father that he really never had. Mm-hmm. So he's looking for something higher, something bigger to latch onto for a mentor. And I think that. He's just looking in all the wrong directions, and I think that his struggle this season is going to have to be. He's going to have to really get really deep and down to the bottom before he starts to maybe be a hero. So.
We all want a good role model. I think that speaks to like a human necessity, really.
But Roy, at the same time, didn't really think that Oliver was a good role model, and now he's become an obsession to him. So.
Are we going to get to see Felicity out in the field a little bit more?
Absolutely. We directly into the first episode of the second season. 201, she's right in there.
Yeah. Felicity 2.0.
2.0.
GI Felicity.
Ooh, like that.
That was bad.
Well, you get.
Well, I had to do a bunch of stunts last night. It's fun, except for when you look like you're hip-hop dancing instead of doing fight choreography.
Like
so, there's a lot of, I tried, but I just looked ridiculous.
I like seeing Colton after he's filmed one, because he comes back, he's like, this is what I had to do, and he's like doing this, and I'm just put on a beat.
I act out the scenes, and there's a lot of clips,
and there's
and there's a lot of...
But it always looks so good. I mean,
because they use the stunt doubles, because they're the best.
Coordinators are amazing, and they're so dedicated. They actually film themselves doing it beforehand with like music and like full choreography, and we just like it looks like it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I've never worked with a stunt team like this before. Like you said, they film it 2 weeks prior, present it to the producers, and they approve their stunt. I mean, no, people don't do that. So
When
it's
you
really,
stunt double on set, by the way, it is terrifying. When you, especially if
'Cause
they're far away, like in the corner, and you see someone who's dressed exactly like you, and they're turned around, and you're just like,
and they're always in better shape.
you're like, is that me? Am I?
They're in better shape than
hallucinating?
you.
They're in better shape than you.
Better hair.
It's usually a wig, so it makes you feel a little better.
Oh, okay.
Well, one of the things about the show as it's grown and it's grown in popularity is that it's got to be more secretive. There's a lot of characters people want to know about.
Yeah.
Colton, I know you gave an interview a little while ago where you said we may or may not see some characters in that. I don't know if the producer was like, shush, 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 shush. But
Oh,
is it,
that's pretty. Yeah, that happens a lot. It's always Colton. Don't go overseas and say things you're not supposed to say.
I always
And what
wonder-
do? I go overseas and say everything I'm not supposed to say.
exactly.
Or are we not supposed to know about this?
Well,
There's someone gritting their teeth somewhere,
Here's the
hoping
issue.
that question never gets asked.
but what you're not supposed to know about it, I mean, the issue is like we said before. I could say something right now, and like what happened with the Black Canary news. It was
It's
not.
not-
It wasn't given correct. The story's
just-
not all
yeah.
that true. So,
We could make up a bunch of things.
I could say that
The Powerpuff Girls make an entrance.
Ellen DeGeneres is going to play my mom in the next season.
There you go.
Ellen and Portia are my parents.
I get a pet gorilla. Felicity gets a pet gorilla.
Adele is in the season premiere.
It starts to only snow in
Yeah.
Starling City.
So can we ask you a Speedy question?
Yes.
Are you?
Am I Speedy? I don't.
Do you know?
So I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's too many different interpretations on who Speedy is, and I like that they've kind of put the Easter egg of alluding to either being Thea or Roy. But there's so many different ways Roy Harper's character could go.
And to be honest with the way they take it, it could also not be either of you.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, we're not given high-class information.
Felicity could be Speedy, and she could have been the entire time.
Promoting Felicity being Speedy.
I hadn't even thought of that. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Cut print.
Cut print. Thank you, guys.